What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. The Pittsburgh Steelers just finished playing the Cincinnati Bengals in Week 10 of the 2020 NFL season, and this was one of Pittsburgh's most dominant, complete overall performances so far of the entire season. Pittsburgh, this could have been one of those trap game situations. Pittsburgh was coming off of a three-game road trip where we went undefeated. Beating Tennessee on the road, beating Baltimore on the road, surviving the Cowboys in a possible trap game. Pittsburgh coming in 8-0 against a team in Cincinnati who's, not good record-wise. They came in, 2-5, 2-6, something like that. Cincinnati was not considered good record-wise, but they have a lot of potential, especially in the offensive side of the ball. With Joe Burrow at quarterback, being one of the best quarterback prospects coming out of college in a long, long time, looking really solid so far this year, putting together back-to-back 300-yard games. Burrow's been on fire lately. T. Higgins at running back is at wide receiver is a very, very solid prospect who's looked very good. He looked good as well today. So Cincinnati's defense is not very good, but their offense has shown a lot of promise, and their young players look to be legit. So this could have been a trap game for us. Pittsburgh didn't even let it really become a game overall. They were pretty dominant from start to finish. Right away, the wind and the rain, but especially the wind, were picking up like crazy out there. Ben came out with a few short passes that were just way off the mark, just totally off. Cincinnati did the same thing. Pittsburgh got a turnover on special teams. Ola Adeni forced a fumble that Benny Snell recovered. So Pittsburgh goes 3-and-out. Gives the ball to Cincinnati. They fumble on the return, and we get the ball back in their pretty much in their red zone. And then Ben throws a few more errant short passes because of the wind. And right away, it's going to be like, oh man, it's going to be a sloppy game. We're going to start slow on offense again. It's going to be one of those, like field goal battles where the game winds up being like 18-15 or 15-12 or something like that. And so I wasn't looking forward to it because our offense had been starting slow for a couple of weeks already, and Ben didn't look too good early because of the wind, but picked that up pretty quick. It changed. We started to use more motion across the formation. Got back again. Ben started hitting his short passes, opening up a lot of deep shots down the field. Ben took a lot of shots down the field in this game. Threw the ball a whole lot. I was surprised. Ben threw this ball 46 times in this game. That's one of his highest totals for the year. I was surprised by that because not only was it windy, which doesn't allow for a lot of passing, especially deep shots, but Cincinnati has one of the weaker running defenses in the entire league. Cincinnati's run defense is pretty weak. I figured overall, Connor's had some burst, even though he hasn't looked all that great in the last few weeks. He's had some moments. And I figured with, having Derek Watt back healthy at fullback and having a lot of motion and having the wind be a factor, playing against a bad running defensive team, I thought Connor was going to get a boatload of carries today. He would touch the ball 20 to 25 times. He did not. When he did, he looked pretty ineffective. He had two good runs, one in the first half, one in the second half. Other than that, James Conner should be on a milk carton right now. James Conner is not out there at all. It's not entirely his fault. Again, the blocking for the running has not been as great. Watt's been unhealthy. He was back today, but didn't play much. The running game wasn't varied too much with other running backs. They did run a few jet sweeps with Claypool. Also ran a reverse with Claypool, which got a first down in the first half, but the variance of running game wasn't there. Overall, Connor just completely missing in action, but the passing game made up for it. Ben had a pretty clean day overall, in spite of 46 attempts. The receivers got a lot of targets out there. A lot of guys got the ball, spreading the ball around on offense, using the short pass, setting up the long pass. Ben hit several deep balls in this game, and he used a lot of guys. We saw a lot from Johnson, Juju, Claypool, Washington, Ebron. Connor had a few targets. So spreading the ball around a lot. So even in spite of the fact that it was windy and in spite of the fact that we did not have Vance McDonald today, we saw a lot of guys getting the ball and making the most of their opportunities overall. It wasn't the cleanest game early on, but turned out really solid on offense. Pittsburgh gets the win here 36-10. So again, you see there putting up 36 points on offense always feels nice. Anytime you can get over 30, I feel like you're in a good place. Pittsburgh's offense did that today. After the first two drives where they only had 3 points combined, they came out really solid and scored. I think it was on like 5 of their next 6 possessions they scored. 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals or something like that. Came out in the second half really clean. They allowed Cincinnati one really good touchdown drive where T. Higgins had a few plays. He had a wide open play where there was a break in coverage. All the guys kind of converged in on the run, and T went down the field, caught a deep pass, and then T caught a touchdown pass. Aside from that one touchdown drive in the first half, Cincinnati only had one field goal in the fourth quarter when the game was already decided after that. So no touchdowns after that. One touchdown total allowed and just one field goal in the second half and nothing else. So you got to feel good about that. Pittsburgh did get 2 turnovers in this game, winning that battle today. One on special teams, like I said, Ola forced a fumble and Benny Snell recovered. The other play was Cam Sutton forcing a fumble on a pile up. Cam Sutton, that is 3 games in a row that he's gotten a turnover, whether it be an interception or a forced fumble. I think that's 1 pick and 2 forced fumbles in 2 weeks, or at least fumble recoveries, something like that. He's a ball hawk. He's around the ball. Cam Sutton has quickly turned into one of the best slot corners in the entire NFL. I love what he's doing. I praise him every single week on this channel. He's filled in for Mike Hilton and then some. He does not have the blitzing presence that Mike Hilton does off the edge, but as a coverage guy, as a ball hawk, he played a great game today. He broke up several passes. He broke on the ball pretty well. He got beat one time for it by breaking on the ball and missing the swat down. But other than that, several breakups, several tackles on quick passes to set up fourth downs, and also the forced fumble here. I love what Cam Sutton is doing. So Pittsburgh winning the turnover battle again. Not allowing the Bengals too much on as far as a rushing offense. I think Samaje Perine had 2 nice first down runs. Aside from that, not much. T. Higgins did have over 100 yards today. Had the touchdown play, had the 1 deep play. Other than that, not much for the Bengals receivers. Good pressure. We had 4 sacks today in the game on Joe Burrow. We held Burrow to, I think, his weakest, or at least one of his weakest games of his entire career so far. He had a hard time figuring out what to do against our veteran corners. The veteran corners on the outside had a nice job. Sutton inside. Joe Hayden on the outside played very, very well. Steven Nelson was solid too. He got the fumble recovery from Sutton's play. So he played pretty well today. All in all, the secondary was very, very nice, and we saw a lot of pressure on the inside. So you got to feel good about both sides of the ball. Let me get to some stats here. Big Ben overall, 27 of 46, 333 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. You got to feel good about Ben going over 300 yards. 4 TDs and no picks is always a major positive. Ben, one of his better games of the season, even in spite of the fact that he did have 19 incompletions. He threw the ball a lot and it was windy, so I'll take that all the time. James Conner, again, 13 carries, just 36 yards, 2.8 yards a carry. Don't feel great about that, but when the ball is being passed around as good as it is, and you're getting turnovers and 3 and outs on defense, and you're stopping Cincinnati on defense from converting third downs, you got to feel pretty good regardless. Lots of good receiving stats here. Deontay Johnson, 6 catches, 116 yards, and a touchdown. There were a few that he could have caught that were off his hands, but again, I'll excuse it. It was windy. Johnson did catch 1 deep one down the sidelines, which was very nice. And he also had a nice touchdown on a quick slant where he turned around and Ben hit him with the ball on a strike. So Johnson looked very good and shifty in this game. Juju was quiet in the first half, looked very good in the second half. 9 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown. He's very good for going up and getting the ball in traffic. He caught a nice play on an extended play on a bend scramble. He had a nice touchdown play as well. He's always a good goal line target. Love what Juju did in this game. Chase Claypool, 4 catches, 56 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He had a couple nice short third down plays where he turned into third down conversions across the middle. He had 2 touchdowns in there. Again, big red zone target, just what I expected him to be this offseason. Also had a couple of jet sweeps and stuff like that. A couple of the ones on the goal line were snuffed out, but he did have the nice reverse play that ran for, I think, 15 yards. So Claypool had a nice overall game today, even though the stats don't look huge. But again, multi-touchdown game for a rookie. I love what he's doing. Eric Ebron had a couple of nice plays, 2 big catches downfield. James Washington had 2 nice catches in traffic. One was a bend scramble that Washington turned into a 13-yard play. Strong hands out of Washington. I feel bad that he's turned into the 4th receiver now, the 4th wide receiver, and then kind of got fallen behind other options like Ebron, Claypool, guys like that. But even still, Washington is a great 4th option to have. I love what he's doing out there as well, even though he doesn't get the targets that a lot of the other guys get. So good day receiving. Defensively, I already mentioned Ola getting the forced fumble. Special teams-wise, I mentioned Cam Sutton, recovered by Nelson. Sacks-wise today, 2 sacks for T.J. Watt. Also had another tackle from behind that could have resulted in a long running play for Cincinnati, and also a tackle on the backfield on the running back. So big day for Watt as well. As usual, every single week pretty much we're calling his name. Bud Dupree also got a sack in this game, and Robert Spillane, who got a sack in this game as well. Spillane, his name wasn't called much today, but he was very, very solid. Didn't see much in coverage, but he got a few nice tackles. Got the big sack in the backfield on Burrow. I love what Spillane's doing to fill in. I say it every week. Also, Ray McLeod, I want to say McLeod out there. I was going to say he was quiet today. It was his most quiet game, but then in the fourth quarter, he took a punt return and almost returned it. He had a nice little juke move where he was patient, waited to find the sideline, got the hole, and took off, beat the kicker, and then was caught from behind by the last guy. So this close to getting a touchdown. McLeod has broken at least one kicker punt return every single week and has been one guy away from breaking a touchdown every single week. I love this guy. He is a difference maker. He's a game breaker on special teams. There was one weird play where it looked like it hit off the Bengals guy in the first quarter when it was really windy, and it rolled back into the end zone, and he bobbled it 4 different times. He couldn't get his hands on it. Picked it up in the end zone and got tackled, and they said it was a touchback. So I guess he didn't touch it previously to being in the end zone. I thought he did. Should have been a Steelers safety in my eyes, but it might have been a bad angle where his knees didn't hit the ball. Again, other than that, you got to feel good. Pittsburgh spreading the ball out to their wide receivers, converting, getting touchdowns, getting good red zone targets, getting stops on third down, making the tackle, getting pressure on Burrow, playing really well in coverage today especially, good on special teams, winning the turnovers, converting third downs on offense. Everything went right for the Steelers today. They go 36-10. They get to 9-0 now. We are now 7 games away from finishing our season. Not going to start talking about the 72 Dolphins yet or the Patriots or whatever. Not thinking about 16-0, but you got to feel good about getting another divisional win here and staying largely in control with the best record in the NFL, the final unbeaten team, and in my opinion, the best team in the NFL so far this season. 9-0 for the Steelers. Who impressed you in this game? What did you think? What are you looking forward to next week in Jacksonville? Tell me in the comments below. Go Steelers, and I will see you guys next week.